Hello, welcome back to JJ's Bakehouse. I'm Ginny and today we're going to be making lemon cake with lemon buttercream. So let's get started. Right, to begin I have got 350 grams of caster sugar or white sugar, and then I've also got 350 grams of unsalted softened butter. So I use the Stork, which is the like the tub margarine, cooking margarine thing, or you could just use block butter and make sure that it's soft so that you can whip it up. So same as always, we are going to whip this now on a medium to high speed for around about 3 minutes until it's really light and fluffy. We need the air to get into this to create a light and airy sponge. So let's go. If you don't have a creaming paddle like I do, just make sure you stop every minute and scrape it down. So I'll see you in a minute. Right, okay. It's done. So same as mine always look when I show you. Oh dear. Right, this. There we are. Really, really light and fluffy. Just blobs off. Looks like mousse, and that's what you want. And that is the air for our cake. Okay? And that's why that is so important. If you don't get this moussiness and it looks like this, you're not going to get air in your cake and it's not going to be really fluffy and you can end up with it being dense and not nice. So, now we'll add all the other ingredients. So I have got 6 large eggs. And in they go. And I've also got 350 grams. I'm going to use plain flour. So that those of you that don't have self-raising. So I'm putting in 350 grams of plain flour, and then I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. If you're using self-raising flour, just use 1 teaspoon. So let me find a teaspoon. Here. So baking powder. When you use new baking powder, always check the date on it and make sure it's in date, because you might be using it, but if it's out of date, it's not going to be working properly. And make sure it's always sealed up properly as well. Right, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Put that there. I have then also zested 3 lemons. So just got the lemons, put them on my grater and just grated them up. So lovely. I'm going to pop those in as well. It's going to give it a really nice lemony natural flavour. And then I've also got some lemon juice. What did I just do? Here it is. Right, and I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of lemon juice in. Now if you possibly can, use freshly squeezed lemon juice. I just cut it in half, squeezed it through my hands so I catch the pips. And this is 3 here. It's such a different taste. Obviously when it's in a bottle, they have to put other things with it to make sure that it stays fresh to be able to be on the shelf. And it does alter the taste, so fresh is best. So there we go, I've got 2 in there. My usual way now, tea towel over the top, we've got all that air in there, we don't need to do anything else, we are just mixing in now. So your lowest speed for around about a minute, didn't quite catch all that flour, so for around about a minute, and if it's not completely combined yet, we're going to do that by hand. We do not want to be playing around with this batter too much. Can we just move this to the back? I need that in a bit. Right, get my tins. So I have got 3 8-inch tins for this one. So this is, if you want to do other layers for 8-inch, then what you need to do, I've done 3 tins for this one. So what the best thing to do is to divide my mixture by 3, and that gives you how much it is each tin. So then you can minus or add on a tin at a time. So that's easy for that one. Oh, this is looking lovely. Right, bear with me. Let's have a quick look at this. That off into there, covered. Oh, it's getting a mess. Right then, this is what mine looks like on the top. I don't know what it looks like throughout, so I'm just going to scrape all around the outside. Again, if you had a pipe, if you just had a regular paddle and not a creaming paddle, the minute that you have the mixture going around here, stop at 30 seconds, scrape down, and then do it again for the full minute. But this is all completely combined. Come up through the middle and just make sure, so you're delicately going around the outside, come up through the middle, and you're just checking there's no slime from egg in there, and that is all perfectly combined. If there is any, just around, just lift, around up through the middle and lift, and around up through the middle and lift. You don't want any slimy egg. Right, and then we're going to divide. If you want to divide using the scales, you can. Just pop it, initially weigh your bowl, so you know how much it is, and then you would put this on top of the scales and find out then how much mixture's in there and divide it by 3 and measure it in that way. But I'm not going to, because I'm lazy. So I'm going to go my way, which is 1, 1, 1, and then keep going, and another one, and another one, and another one, a little bit less, a little bit less, right, and then I've got some left in there, but before I do anything with that, I'm just going to spread these out. Always middle out, because you naturally push these edges down, and if you push the edges down, your cake's going to just do that and look like a biscuit at the sides. So for the middle out, and then skim. There we go, see? And then you've got that nice even layer all the way around that's not dipping down at the sides. There's one. Right, let me do these because it's going to take me a minute to do this and I'll come straight back. Okay, so this one I know I don't want to put any more into this because it's full. So my last of the mixture I'm just going to divide between these two. And then I've got my oven preheated to 160 degrees for a fan assisted oven, and I'm at 100, you would be at 170 to 180 degrees on a conventional non-fan assisted oven. Believe that that's gas mark 3, look at me, so clever. So if you're having issues with your ovens, I've got an oven thermometer inside my oven and I really recommend them because every oven is different and they can be out, and it's really difficult if you press the gauge on your oven and say, right, I want it to be 160, but the temperature inside is reading something different. Your bakes aren't going to go right, so it's really important to know how hot your oven is on the inside. So I've got a gauge, mine is actually 10 degrees out, so I have to pop mine onto 170 to get 160. Very confusing, but I really recommend. I think they're about £8, something like that. You can get them all on Amazon. I really recommend one, so you know what your oven's doing. Right, we're going to pop these in now. I'm going to clean down. We're going to start the buttercream. I'll tell you exactly how long these took when I get them out. See you in a moment. Right, I'm all washed up, mixer. Before I do the buttercream with you though, we need to do some simple syrup, because with lemon cake, I love to put a little drizzle over the top of the sponges when they come out. If you don't want to do this, you can leave it, but I think it really just puts a little extra edge on the top of the sponge. It's so nice. So I'm going to show you how to do it. So, simple syrup is basically equal amounts water or fluid to sugar, and then you boil it so that all the sugar dissolves, and then you let it rest so that it cools, and it's as simple as that. So I've got a saucepan here. Now obviously I'm going to make a lemon simple syrup today, so it's going to be equal parts caster sugar to lemon juice. Again, if you can use freshly squeezed lemon juice, I really recommend it, but I will be honest, I only had half, well probably about 3/4 in there of freshly squeezed, now to top it up with a bottle of lemon, so it's most of it. Right, so I'm going to use tablespoons. I'm going to use 5 tablespoons of caster sugar. I'm saying caster sugar, white sugar, just white sugar, so 5. And then I'm going to come in with 5 tablespoons of lemon juice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, look at me counting, aren't I clever? Okay, right, and we'll leave that there because I can use that for something else in a moment. So that just covers, and that's it. So we're going to put this on the heat. There we go, and we're going to let that do its thing for a minute. Okay, another thing that you can do is make candied peel. Now, not peel, candied lemons to go on the top. So cut this off, and cut this off. I'm only going to do a couple just to show you. And then thin. You don't want these thick. You want this thin. Not that thin. Not. There we go. Ideal. Right, so we're going to cut these up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, that didn't work, so looks like I'll probably get one more. Will I? Yes! Right, and then these pop in while this is boiling away. Right, that's now boiling. I'm going to turn it down to a medium heat. And we're just going to leave that in there for, push them in, make sure they're all nicely covered. Brilliant. Right, and we're going to leave that there for 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. Just simmering away. And what that's going to do as well is it's going to soften up those lemons to be able to make the candied lemons, and then it's also going to take all the lovely flavour from those lemons and put it into that simple syrup as well, and it's going to give it a really, really nice flavour. So, yum! That's what we're doing there. Let's get rid of this. Put that in my bin. Come back. Right. Buttercream. I'm going to ignore that for the moment. Right, I'm looking at my time because I want to see there's 7 minutes on there. Right, butter. Where's my butter? Let's get this buttercream done. A couple of things about butter that I want to say is for buttercream, the word is butter. A tub of butter is not going to do it. A soft spread is not going to do it. It needs to be a block. And the reason being is because the blocks of butter are just pure milk fats in there. There's no oil, there's nothing else, so it holds up the best it possibly can. You're going to get the most stability and the nicer flavour from your butter. If you use a spread, or if you use a block butter, for example, like Willow, it has got vegetable fats in it, vegetable oils. And you know what vegetable oil looks like. At room temperature, vegetable oil is liquid. So it's going to, when it reaches room temperature, make some of this, the butter that it's in, just collapse a little bit, and you're not going to get that structure. So really, really important. If you're buying a block butter, always read the ingredients. Look on the side. If it says it contains oil, don't use it. You want full butter for buttercream. So, let's cut mine up into pieces. My usual amount, 230 grams and 500 grams of icing sugar. You can see me cutting this, the texture of it it's lovely, and there's no oil coming out of it. Well, it's not oil, but fat coming off of it. It's not hard, it's just, I can put my fingers into it. Perfect. So in they go, there. Now for this recipe, I'm only doing like a naked lemon cake just to show you how to get the flavours. If you want to do a cake where you're going to cover the whole of the cake, double the buttercream that I'm putting into the description box. So instead of 230, use 460, instead of 500 grams of icing sugar, you know, 1 kg. So brilliant. I'm going to put this on now, same way we normally do. This needs to be beaten for 5 minutes at least on a high speed to get this light, white, airy, and it's so, so important. If you haven't got a creaming paddle, you're going to have to stop every minute and scrape down and keep going. So I'll show you what mine looks like after 5 minutes. Without a creaming paddle, you might be looking at 7 minutes. But I will come back to you once it's done. Ah, noisy. Right, so this is what mine looks like. White and like mousse. Now that took me 5 minutes, and like I said, if you haven't, if you've got the regular paddle, then it probably takes 7 minutes because you'll keep stopping and scraping down. So, happy with this. So we're going to add in just a moment. So I am just going to leave that on a slow speed because it's pointless just being sat there. The more and more air I get into it, the better it will be and the lighter it will be. So I may as well just leave that there. This has had 7 minutes now. So I'm going to turn this off. And then I've got some little grippy things, or you can just use a fork. Right, and then we're going to take the lemons out. Being really careful because they're floppy. There we go. Now there'll be holes like that, but when you put them on the paper, you can just push the bits back in again. I know you can't see a thing of what I'm doing. Right. I'm going to put them all down for a second. Right. And this we need, so we're just going to leave that on the back. So, yeah, you can see. We're just going to take something and pull these back in. So you could use a fork and put its structure back in together like this. It takes a minute, but if you don't do it, it's all pointless. And then this is the way that they'll dry then. That one doesn't want to play the game with me. There we go, I will win. There we are. And if you don't do this fairly soon, after they come out, they start going a bit more rigid. So, excellent, there we go. And there's all our, peel. So you can leave these and they will take a little bit of time to dry out. I'm going to do an experiment with you because I read online, I've never done it this way, but if you put them in the oven, it will dry them out quicker, so well, you may as well just try that in a moment. So when the cakes come out, we'll whack that in and we'll do a little experiment together and see whether I should have believed it or not. So now it's time to add the icing sugar to this. I've got 4 minutes left on my cakes. Right. Icing sugar should always be sieved. Normally I've pre-done it for you, but I thought, hey, we'll do it together today. So you know I tend to put it in threes, that's probably a half. And then with clean hands, I just go in and use my hand to swirl around and push it through because I cannot, look, that just takes so long, I've got patience. There we go, look at that. 2-second job. And that was a half bag of icing sugar and it's in and done. So leave that there, ready for the next lot in a moment. My hand wipe and my cream paddle. Back on, lowest speed that you can, that your machine has got. Clean tea towel to put over the top to make sure that it doesn't come out. And we should just leave that alone then for a second, and we'll do the other lot in just a moment. I've got some lemon juice here, but I'm not actually going to use that lemon juice. I'm going to use the syrup because this is gorgeous. So there's going to be syrup going into this, and then there's also going to be lemon curd going into the buttercream as well, and it's going to be so nice. So let's have a look at this. How's my cakes doing? Looking good. Right, just give that another couple of minutes. It's not quite incorporated there. Yeah, happy with that now. Okay, so it's looking quite lumpy, but not to worry. You will need your boiling water as well for this, which I'm going to go and get in just 1 second. So let's put the last of this ice and sugar in. I'm doing it in 2 lots. Now, there we go. And whiz round. Excellent, done. Right, put this back in, and then I'm going to go and wash my hands. And get my boiling water, and I'll be straight back to you. So I'll see you in a moment. I'm making a bit of a noise. Oh, my cakes. Let's have a look. 1 sec. Make sure I've got the lid on here. Yeah, I'm done. So that took 25 minutes. Here we go, straight out the oven. Look at those, spongy on the top. Obviously you can put something in and take it out. I know it by feel, but it just feels like a sponge. There's no liquid, there's nothing underneath there. Right, leave those on there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go straight in with this simple syrup. So give it a stir around. Take a tablespoon like this, and then just put the back of the spoon on and kind of tip out. Let it go around the top. And again, I'm on the top, just tip a bit out and use the back of the spoon just to smear it all the way over the top. And you want to do this when it's hot because the sponge will absorb it better. So you don't want loads, and be careful that it doesn't lift. So you want kind of a tablespoon for each one, really. If I say a tablespoon, it's this dessert spoon. All the way around using the back edge. Just going to put tea towel there. And I'm going to move this one over and do this right in front of you, because I'm not sure you can actually see what I'm doing here. I'll just finish that one off there. Right, so I've got some of this syrup, and then I just tip a little bit on there with the back of the spoon. There we go. All the way around. And there we are. And then that will just absorb and drip down inside whilst it's cooling. So, actually cooled really easily, don't worry. Right, so what I've got left in here, it's not loads, but it's enough. So I'm going to use, see, I've got this part here, and this is why I say the 5, because with the 7 minutes, some of it burns off and it's making it thicker. So let's pour some into here. I'm going to put my spoon there. We'll see how much I've got. Look at it, it's so golden. And this tastes so good, you don't want to waste it. Right, and that goes straight in to our buttercream. So that was 1 tablespoon. There we go. So So I've got 2 tablespoons just under of this. And that is just perfect. There we are. Put that there. And oh my, it's sticky. Right, so in goes the last of your simple syrup. Don't waste it. Right, and then I also want curd. So I'm just going to give this a quick rinse off. One sec. We're going to put in the lemon curd as well, because I love the taste of lemon curd, and the two together is just so nice. So we're going to put in 1, and it doesn't like coming out, 1 and 2 tablespoons of lemon curd into the buttercream as well. And then turn that on and let that have a mix around. That's a bit of fluid in there, so it's going to be happier. Smell of lemons already coming up and hitting me. Then I've got my boiling water, and I'm going to put a tablespoon of boiling water in. And then wait and see what this looks like. Give it a scrape down quickly. It's quite stiff still, so if you see what I've got here, it's still fairly stiff, but because we've had everything on low, it's not got air bubbles or anything in it, so it's looking perfect. So another go round. There we go. And I'm just going to leave that for 5 minutes. This is so important as well, to make sure that at the end of your buttercream you just let it have a little mix around. You'll also reduce the colour again a little bit more, it'll turn whiter. It will dissolve any more icing sugar, because obviously sometimes people complain about the grit. This will help with that. It combines those flavours lovely, and it take out any big air pockets that we had from whipping all that butter. So we just leave that alone for 5 minutes. We have our cakes here, which I'm just going to leave in the tins to chill away. We're going to pop in these. Now I'm going to leave it on the same temperature. Oh, I turned it up. Put it back on. Right. And I'm going to leave those in for 5 minutes, and we'll see what happens. So they're on 160 for 5 minutes, but I'm going to keep an eye on them in case they look like they're going to burn. So there is nothing else I can do with you for the moment. As soon as they come out, I will show you. I will turn these out as well with you in a moment, and then we just have to wait for everything to cool, and then we can assemble. So I'm going to see you in a minute. Right, we're going to take these out of the tins, so I'm just going to tease the outsides, make sure that it's all come away from the sides. I didn't use the butter and flour today, but with the sugar and everything on the top, it can make it a little bit sticky, so it's going to be fine anyway. There it is. There we are. Right, just give it a jiggle, make sure that it moves around in the pan. Right, you've put this on top and it's incredibly sticky. So I would normally tell you flip them upside down, but you don't want to do that. This is also going to try and stick to my hands. So I'm going to kind of cusp it like this, turn it, and very quickly get it back down. That's all I managed to take off, and that's just because that syrup's coming through. So I'm going to do that with all of these and then come back to you. Right, that's my candied lemons. Let's see. Right. I'm going to take them off the sheet. Here. I mean, they do look really cute. Look. Very sticky. There we go. And then when they have dried off a little bit and become firmer, what I will do then is, because we can't ever have enough sugar apparently, according to me, I'm going to just put some granulated sugar across the top, just to give it that lovely, like, crystallised effect over the top as well. So for the moment, they look good to me. That was 5 minutes in there, and we'll see how we go. I can stop this now. It's been going for plenty of time. Let me show you what this looks like. You can see on the paddle just there. There we are. It's absolutely lovely. It's so silky and nice. There's no air pockets in there at all. So I'm going to change this over now into a bowl, pop it on the side and leave it, wait for these to cool, and then we'll assemble. So I will see you when we're ready to build this into a lovely looking cake. See you soon. Right, I'm all dry. Yeah, these are dry. I'm very confused. These are dry, so these are cool. I'm ready to go. So, one thing I will say is my sponges are super soft. I took the parchment paper off and I've just flipped them because I wanted them to cool, but I was happy that it's okay underneath. I don't know why. If you were using the plain flour, you needed 2 teaspoons of baking powder, not 1.5. I don't know why. I said what I said. So make sure that you use the 2 teaspoons if you're using the plain flour, and 1 teaspoon if you're using self-raising flour. So I will change what I say on the screen. You'll get a little word come up which will show I was being stupid. Right, look at these then. These worked. So look how glassy they are. They are gorgeous. So then you have a choice. You can leave them like this, all glassy and lovely, or I dipped mine in sugar, just like this, and then tap them, and then you've got a sugar candied one. So that's 2 different variations there. These are obviously easier to handle for the moment, but these will dry out completely, but they are pretty much on the way at the moment. I would still use them, but they're quite sticky, and that just took the stickiness off. So it's really up to you which way you want them. So now we need to assemble. So I'm going to do mine on a plate, just because this one is for the house and I don't want to waste my boards. So I've got piping bag, I've got my buttercream, and I've got my 2D nozzle. So I'm going to put all of my buttercream into my bag. Well, not all of it. I'm going to put some of my buttercream into my bag. First off, drop this in to the bottom. Right, and then I'm using a smaller spatula, just because I want to push it all the way down so that I don't get lots of gaps of air in there. So put all this in. Oops. That's enough, otherwise it's going to burst out through the top on me. I can save that for a minute. Right, put that across the top, get some scissors so that I can snip that off. Right, so let's cut the bottom of this off so that that fits through. There we are. Push it down. There we are. Brilliant. Just give it a little press all the way through so that you're happy that all the air pockets have disappeared, and pop that there. Okay, so which one shall I'm going to use this one first. Now it's obviously a little bit sticky on the bottom, but we're good. There we go. So I'm going to turn mine up so that the flavoured part is at the top, even though it will have drained through. Just move these. So that, there we are. Right, I'm going to bring you in closer now so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, lovely. Right, so my piping bag, and then with my 2D, I'm just going to around the outside, squeeze and release, and I'm going to do this the whole way round. Squeeze, release, release. Oh, you'll have that stuck in your brain. Squeeze, release. Make a little song out of it. There we are. all the way around. And this is just so that you can see this part through the side of the cake. So I am going quite near to the edge there so that you can see. There we go. Right, there we are. So that's that bit done. Right, and then I'm going to take some of my lemon curd and just pop that into the middle. You don't have to add this, but I just think it's a lemon cake, and if you're going to do a lemon cake, why not? So with the back of a spoon, I am just putting that all the way around so that it meets there, the inside. So we've got the inside part filled with lemon curd, and then the outside part looking lovely and pretty. Then I'm going to do, like you would on a cupcake, I'm going to do that rose. So I'm just going to, just to fill it all up. You're not going to see it. There we are. All filled. So that's what it looks like. And then we're going to pop on the next one. Lift that off. Right, a good look. Make sure that it's going on uniform. There we go. Give it a little spin so you can see what you're doing. Brilliant. And then I'm going to do the very same again, all the way around the outside, and then put lemon curd back into the middle again. So just squeeze and release close to the edge so that you can see that effect. And the buttercream is so smooth as well, it's really nice. There we go. And then more of that lemon curd. And then I'll put the top on and be straight back to you and we'll fill up the top bit. So I've just got my palette knife. I'm not putting a hugely thick layer of this on. Just enough just to spread it on, but cover it all, but it's just a delicate layer, not a really thick layer, because you don't want to overpower anything. There we go. Fill it all up. Lovely. So I've still got some left. I just wanted a fine layer across the top. And then I'm going to come back in with my piping bag. I'm going to fill it up a little bit. So if you've not done this before, if you take your glass and just open it back out like this, and then you can just refill the piping bag through the top there. And that's going to save any waste on getting different piping bags as well. So that was plenty for me, the 1 block of butter for doing it this way. Like I said, add the second one if you're going to be covering the whole cake. So back in again and do the very same thing all the way around outside of this. And obviously this is the top part, so try and keep it all looking as uniform as you can. Trying to keep the same pressure on each one. Which always sounds easy, it's not actually as easy as it sounds. So, there we go. And then instead of doing what we did last time, I am just going to go in and do the whole thing, the whole way round on this one. Lovely. Nearly there. It's worth it though. I think I'm just going to have enough buttercream here. And last one, I'm done. Right, so that's how that looks all the way around. It's quite simple, but it's so effective. It does look so nice. Right, and then we've got these candied peel here. So I'm going to do one of these and then one of these. So I'm going to place this one on the top and then pop that one over and then over the top. So I'm overlapping them, like concertina-ing them. And that one. Then back to this one. And then to get this last one in, I need to lift here and slot that one in there. Just pull them all around so that they sit properly. And that just shows that it's the lemon cake. You've got little pieces of lemon all across the top there. And then to finish off then, you can put some more lemon zest just all across the top there, just to pull it up just that little bit more. So I've got a little bit of lemon zest in my hand there, just sprinkle little bits across the top there. There we go. Lovely. And then to finish off, you can pop a little bit of icing sugar, again, all around the outside of the plate. I do like that kind of look. It brings it up a little bit and you'll be done. So one sec, I'll come back to you. Okay, and I'm done. So this is my lemon sponge cake with lemon buttercream and lemon curd inside. I hope you've enjoyed it. I don't think I could have put anything else on this that would have had anything else that had lemon in it, to be honest. You couldn't say this isn't lemon, but it's a really decadent lemon. It's really, really nice. It's simple to do, and I hope you enjoy it. So I will see you soon. You take care. Bye-bye.